My girl, Alison, tell us, what is the deal? I do want to start with that April jobs report that Joe was just mentioning. I mean, really, like, not just the top line, but break it down. What was interesting about what you saw? What do these numbers tell us?
Yeah, so look, one of the funny things people might realize, right, we were looking for 400,000 jobs. We got 428. We thought maybe unemployment would come down to 3.5. It's stuck at 3.6. If those numbers sound familiar, that's because the revised May report and April are absolutely identical. We're looking at really similar patterns here. Top line, this is a good number. You guys have been saying it, right? Strong jobs growth. We've been seeing strong jobs growth for months now. So that's the positive. But there are some little things that if you start to dig into the report are the reasons why Wall Street might not be so excited today. So I'm going to get a tiny bit in the weeds here. But Morgan, I know you can stick with me. We're good here, so hang on for 1 second. You know how we've been talking about how inflation is so high and wage growth isn't exactly keeping up? Yep. Well, one of the issues that economists, experts, investors are looking at here is that they're a little bit worried about wage growth. If companies have to pay people more and more and more to keep up with inflation, well, guess what those companies do? Then they pass it on to you and me, and that stokes inflation. You see what I'm saying? It causes like this catch-22 here. So one of the things in this report that was a little bit concerning is the labor force participation rate. Employers would like to see a lot more people interested in jobs coming back to work, raising their hand to say, yeah, I want to work in that office, because then they won't have to throw such high wages and perks at them. And then that will cool off and maybe cool inflation. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, so I guess the second question would be then sort of like, where should people be looking? I mean, what sectors of the economy sort of saw the most growth? Where should people sort of, you know, spend their extra time doing their job searches? And alternatively, maybe which ones took the hardest hit?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record because every month I come on and I say a lot of the same sectors. I bet you can guess what I'm going to say first. Leisure and hospitality, right? That has been leading the way, but that's really good. We had 78,000 new jobs in leisure and hospitality. This is the industry that just got absolutely slammed during the pandemic, so we're happy to see that strong recovery. But this was also a pretty good report broadly. Look at manufacturing, professional and business services. We even saw a nice bump in retail, around 28,000 jobs. So this was a nice kind of broad report, and big picture, we've recovered like 90% of the jobs that we lost over the pandemic. So all of this is good news, but that little pickle I was telling you about, it's that inflation problem that the Fed is struggling to solve, that we're all struggling to deal with, and it's just not going away quite yet.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.